What we do for ourselves dies with us. What we do for others in the world remains and is immortal. So I'd like to thank you guys for being here against your will for the fourth installment of the Bayside Academy Last Lecture Initiative. For those of you who are new to this, basically what we're doing is we bring in a faculty member or administration person every semester and give them the chance to answer the question, if this was the last lecture you ever gave, what would you say? And the goal of this is really just not just to give a well-deserving administrator or teacher kind of their moment in the sun, but also to give you guys an appreciation of kind of the people you see every day in a way that you don't always see them. Just the perspective to try to teach us that there's really different sides to everything that we're seeing. So without further ado, I'd like to introduce our speaker for today, who's been very gracious with his time. So please give a great round of applause to Coach Ferguson.
Thank you. Good morning, guys. Guys, I don't generally get nervous when I talk in front of people, but I am today. I must say I am nervous today. Partly due because I sat somewhere out there last week and I watched the talent show, and I don't really feel like I belong on this stage after watching the talent show. I somewhat feel out of my comfort zone. So, guys, I'm honored to have this opportunity to talk to you today. And as Kevin so rightly said last year, there are plenty of people on this campus that could do a much better job than I talking to you and advising you today. I'd like to thank the Philosophy Club for this opportunity. They're a fine group of young men, but all clubs, all countries, all teams, everything, they're only as good as their leader. And I'd like to thank David Bingham. You're a fine leader, so thank you, David. In preparing for this speech, I spent hours trying to figure out what to say, what to talk about. And I don't really have major words of wisdom. I feel like if I tell you a little bit about myself, a little bit about what I've gone through, and then how even an adult has to recheck and recalibrate himself, I hope that can help you in your life. I do feel that I am underqualified to make this speech today. I stand in amazement of all of you every day. I stand in amazement of students. I stand in amazement of teachers. I watch you in the classroom. I watch you on the bluff. I watch you interact with your first graders. I watch you on the athletic field, athletic court. I watch you on the stage. And I truly do feel underqualified to give advice to such amazing people. I watched Kevin's speech maybe once or twice. Kevin, I thought you did really well. I watched Randy's speech, and I'm not even going to try to pronounce his last name. The one thing that I did find that, in contrast to Randy, the guy who started this initiative, I cannot speak today without mentioning my family. I love them dearly. They make me who I am today. But I also want you to know that in this picture, in this captive moment, you don't see all the chaos that was going on. There were 3 or 4 soccer balls behind the photographer. It took my wife maybe 10 minutes to get her 3 children to stay still for a moment. And probably 30 minutes later, it ended up like this. So I cannot talk today without mentioning my family. I'm going to start with who I am, and then talk about what I'm going to try to highlight in my life, which will hopefully highlight and help your life. I'm a man that loved God, but now loves him even more. I love my family. I love my friends. And I love coming to Bayside every day. I want to talk to you today about what has helped me in my life, where I come from, and then what I feel can help you in your journey. And it's called the overall ripple effect in my life. and then I want to know what the overall ripple effect is in your life. First thing that has influenced my life, whether it be back at home and now here, is my family. From a young boy, I also had dreams and aspirations. We'll talk about those. From being a young redheaded child, I've been constantly pressed upon about having character and integrity. From a young age, and I'll give you some stories, I've been warned and advised to not be complacent. And then with it all, it's all been taught to me through love. In Randy's speech that I watched numerous times, he did talk about the elephant in the room. And the elephant in the room for his life was his health. And I want to kind of confirm, especially to Andrew Augustus Smith III, that the elephant in the room is not my red hair. Anybody like to take a guess which one is me? Left, yeah, left. The better looking of the two redheads. But guys, I had a rocky few months. I've had a pretty kind of roller coaster few years, and the elephant in my life is the recalibration of my life. I can remember it like it was yesterday. Waking up on a Sunday morning, and I had to go down to Orange Beach to coach soccer, and I think Coach Montgomery might have been at the same complex. But I woke up and my arm was numb, and thought nothing of it. And I drove down there, and the entire time the game was going on, all the substitutes were just poking my arm, going, "What's wrong with your arm, coach?" My arm was enormous. I couldn't feel it. I was in no pain. Some of the players were like, "Coach, what is going on with you?" After being at the fields all day, I came home to my wife, and she gave me an ultimatum, which was go to the hospital or I'm going to hurt you. So I kind of figured going to the hospital was the safest route. In my head, just being a true Brit, I was kind of the mindset of Monty Python, and that was it's only a flesh wound. So so I arrived at the hospital, and there was a family carrying a child in with a visibly broken bone. I mean, you could see it. It wasn't where it was meant to be. And the doctors came out and they looked at my arm and they rushed me back. And I'm like, "No, take care of this little girl." And I was in zero pain. While in ultrasound, I'm still in my normal mode. And I asked the ultrasound technician if I was pregnant. And the conversation drastically changed, because it went from joking and humor to I had a 5-inch blood clot in my arm, which is apparently dangerous. Apparently dangerous. After 3 surgeries, about 6 months later, taking numerous trips up to the UAB, we found out that not only do I have red hair, I actually have a syndrome called Paget-Strodemeyer syndrome, which not many people have. Apparently, if my wife may correct me, I was number 197 on file to actually have this in America, I believe. And they stated with me no longer being an athlete, no longer playing, no longer having an active lifestyle, that it would never happen again. It's kind of a freak of nature. However, just in past April, which was 2 or 3 years later, I was in Tallahassee, Florida, watching my 2 boys play. I was actually not coaching for once. I was just watching, taking pictures. It was the other arm this time. And I kind of thought to myself, not again. And this time, we went through extensive surgeries. And over the past 6 months, I've had both of my first ribs removed. I've had both scalene muscles removed. I've had some of the best doctors in the world treating me. He's one of 3 in the entire country that actually do this surgery. The doctor actually had red hair as well, which was awesome. I want you just to think for a minute. What are the odds that I have this issue, that it surfaces again while I'm in Tallahassee for 2 days? And the doctor in the hospital that Google found for me, was one of 3 doctors that actually performed this surgery. I want you to know miracles do happen. Miracles do happen. What did I learn from this experience, and why do I share it with you? I'm going to try my best to explain it to you, but it was a recalibration of my life. I thought I was a good guy. I thought I was a good husband. I thought I was a good dad. And I thought wrong. So I want to tell you where I'm from, and then how I want you to try to lead your life, or recheck your life, or check your compass. I'm originally from England. A lot of people ask me that question. A lot of people ask. One old lady said, "I knew you were from up north," but I just let her go on. But I'm originally from Newcastle, England, and also known as the motherland. Is Mr. Long in here? Oh, sorry, Mr. Long. This is for your presentation on Friday when I'm covering your class. I'll skip to the real picture. I am actually from right on the border here between England and Scotland. And my brother and I are the only 2 that were born in England. My entire family is from Inverness, Scotland. And if obviously everybody's heard of Loch Ness and Nessie, this is where my family's from. And this is Loch Ness, and our village we're from is called Dawes, which is just halfway down the loch. And this is Urquhart Castle here. And when I was a child, I used to actually play in that castle for free. I went back with my family about 5 years ago, and I had to pay £50 to get in it. So, tourism boom. I had a fantastic childhood. I have 2 loving parents. I appreciate them more and more with every day that passes. And I want you to also appreciate what your parents do for you. Since becoming a parent, I have come to the realization that there is no milk fairy, there's no dairy fairy, and there's no grocery fairy. And I've come to the frightening realization that there's actually no money tree at the end of the garden. Yet I never heard my parents complain about any of that. Groceries, money, never heard them once complain about it. And I want you to kind of think about yourself. What are you watering in life? Are you watering material things? Are you actually watering character and integrity? As I said, I was born and raised in Newcastle, England, and I have one older brother right there. Never paid attention to much. I grew up in a small mining village called Dudley. I was the youngest lad in the entire village. I was the youngest, and I did not like that. If anybody's a younger brother, sometimes they're like, this is not fair. I did not like it at all. But in fact, that actually was one of the things that helped me fulfill and reach my dreams. But I didn't know that at the time. Sometimes we don't realize what's ahead of us. Guys, talking about dreams, what do you think I was just about to dream about? You know, I had a good big brother, but what was I going to dream about? And I'll never forget that I always wanted to be an astronaut. No, I'm just joking. There was a moment in my life, which was 7th grade-ish, because we do not do the grades the same. But a teacher, Mr. Phillips and Mr. Ritchie, came into class one day, and it was all the boys in the room, and it's kind of a career moment. They were like, we want you to write down what you want to be when you grow up. Guys, it took me less than 2 seconds to write down on that piece of paper what I wanted to be. And so I write down professional soccer player. Guys, I probably didn't even spell professional correctly. I can guarantee you I did not spell it correctly. It took Mr. Ritchie even less time to say the following, and I will translate it. He said, "How to wear with yourself, Ferguson. Go and put something doing that you can actually be." So he actually said, you're being silly. You're never going to be able to do that. Go sit down, think about it, and tell me something you can realistically become. That's what he was telling me. And know this, Mr. Ritchie was a great supporter of mine. It took me less than 5 seconds to write down my second job or career choice. So I go back to Mr. Ritchie with professional football player scratched out, and underneath I wrote teacher and coach. It's fairly funny, isn't it? I did achieve what I wanted to do, but he was right. He was also right that there's something bigger than the dream I had, and being a teacher and coach is far more rewarding than being a football player. I have my parents to thank for helping me get from there to here. There are countless people that I know in England that are ex-professional soccer players that put all of their eggs in that basket right there. And guys, I'm from a small village, so the whole talk of the village was Jamie's going to be a star. Jamie's a footballer in the making. Jamie was already at teams. Jamie was already playing and receiving gifts from all over the place. But it was my dad that kept my nose in my books. It was my dad that said, yeah, you can be a footballer, but you're going to be an intelligent one. I thought I had my dreams mapped out. But remember, this was before Google Maps, so my dad had to give me stern directions. Stern directions. I want to caution you with trying to fulfill your dreams. Character and integrity are a big part of my life, and I hope that they become, or that they are, a big part in your life. The caution that I give you that in pursuing your dreams, you can often sacrifice your character and integrity. The world is not fair. The world is a very dangerous and lonely place as we know it and have just been recently reminded of it. People will tempt others for self-serving purposes. I want you to know that people can steal everything from you, clothes, money, vehicles. They can steal any material thing away from you. But I also want to tell you they cannot take away your character and integrity. They cannot take your character and integrity. However, the sad fact with that is you can give it away. You can give it away. Whether it be on a daily basis or in pursuing your dreams, you can give it away. I caution you, monitor your compass daily, always recheck it. And as Mr. Papa said at one of his opening speeches, just in the terms of sailing, make sure that when you're moving forward, even with the wind against you, that you are tacking. In sailing terms, I have no idea what that really means, but it's moving forward when things are going against you. Guys, in life, complacency can bite us. Complacency can come and sneak up on us. Life has a funny way of catching your attention. It certainly caught my attention. We think we have life under control. We think we are guaranteed tomorrow. We are not. One day you have the world at your feet. The next day somebody's pulling the rug from underneath you. Guys, I remember this like it was yesterday. I was on a high. I could not believe I had just been signed by a team called Whitby Town. I was transferring mid-season from Whitby, from Morpeth to Whitby. I sat there excited, just finished my first practice session, and I sat down to sign the contract with the manager, Mr. Dunn. He said this, and I quote, "It is your job, it is my job to replace you. It is your job to be irreplaceable." Talk about going from excited to nervous in 5 seconds. I got so nervous, I couldn't even remember how to spell my name in signing the contract. I was concerned, I was worried. He kept me on my toes. Are you on your toes? Are you keeping your neighbors and your friends on their toes? Throughout my life, I have certainly taken for granted and been complacent with God and my faith. changed that here recently. And I appreciate Johnny for being here. I got baptized with my two boys 6, 8 weeks ago. And thank you for the students that came to that. You are part of my family as well. And so I did take that for granted. I now have to recheck that daily, but I'm doing my best not to. My wife, my beautiful wife, my best friend, she brings out the best in me. And I don't take her for granted. My family, my children, my friends, my job, and now my health, which we'll find out about that soon. So, family grows, dreams and aspirations can change. I just want you to know that mine have changed drastically over time, whether it be in a 5-second span of scratching out footballer to be teacher. It's changed to just being the best dad I can be, the best husband I can be, the best role model for you guys. And guys, know this, I fail at this every day. But there's always a moment to change and make a better a change in how it can affect the future, because I cannot affect the past. I'm trying to instill character into my boys. I'm trying to instill character and integrity into them every day. I'm trying my best to be a role model for you guys. I treat every day like it is a blessing, a present, because tomorrow's not guaranteed. As the wise Kevin Coley stated last year, love is everything. So I ask you to love everything, love everyone, love yourself, love your family, your friends, love your teachers, love your school, and I ask you to make a difference. I want to ask you, what is your ripple effect? What impression do you leave? As Mr. Lutzenkirk said the other day, what is your brand? I encourage you all, teachers and students. I just went to a conference that had a slogan, it had a theme, it said, "How deep?" And the quote was, leaving lasting footprints and impacts on those constant contacts we have each and every day and making a difference in those lives. Will your footprint quickly wash away when the tide rolls in, or will it sustain wave after wave and forever leave an impression? What ripple effect are you leaving? I know the impression on me was my parents, my family, my wife, my children. I've had teachers and coaches in my life. Teachers and coaches have the best job in the world. They get to make an impression on the youth of today and to change the future. My friends, now I'm faced with the challenge every day of what ripple and what impression do I leave? How do I portray myself? Who am I? I want you to know that life is a struggle, but we are able to succeed with the help and love from others. I encourage you to make a difference in somebody else's life today and tomorrow and every day after that. Make a positive, lasting ripple effect. In closing, I want to encourage and empower you all, both teachers and students. How can you be the most positive and impactful, and how can you be the most positive and have the most impact on your students? What ripple effect can you have in your classroom, on your team, in your club, in your family, and here at Bayside and Academy and beyond? And the last thing I will talk about and mention is something that is pinned up in a teacher's classroom here at school. The Native American legend of two wolves. A Cherokee legend, an old Cherokee is teaching his grandson about life. A fight is going on inside of me, he said to the boy. It is a terrible fight. It is between two wolves. One is evil. He is anger, envy, sorrow, regret, greed, arrogance, self-pity, guilt, resentment, inferiority, lies, false pride, superiority, and ego. He continued, the other is good. He is joy, peace, love, hope, serenity, humility, kindness, empathy, generosity, truth, compassion, and faith. The same fight is going on inside of you and inside of every other person. The grandson thought for a moment and then asked his grandfather, which wolf wins? The old Cherokee simply replied, the one you feed. I pray you feed the correct wolf. I pray you have a positive and lasting ripple effect on those around you. I thank you for this opportunity to be in your life and to speak today, and I am honored to be in your presence. Thank you.